Hey, Dr. Julie,
Hello.
you want to get pregnant?
No.
The title of today's episode is Preconception Misconceptions. Welcome back to the Prime Podcast. I am your host, Dr. Skip Wyss, the Bowtie Chiropractor, and I am here with the fabulous Dr. Fairy Fingers, Dr. Julie Wyss. How are you today?
I'm great.
Yeah, and you're coming off of a pretty fabulous couple days here. It was your birthday. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. It was the 20th anniversary of your birthday. And but today we are talking preconception misconceptions. And I think that it's one of those commonplace things that a lot of women, when they're trying to get pregnant, go through a lot of questions in their heads. And we get voiced a lot of questions here at Prime Family Chiropractic Centers. And I want to cover a lot of these today. Is that okay with you?
Absolutely.
So we've got the top 5 questions that we can go over here. And do you have any information that moms should kind of kick off with right away? I mean, we see a lot of pregnancies in this office. And over 15 years, we've seen well over 1,000 pregnancies. And I believe that we become pretty much the leading authority here in Green Bay, Wisconsin on pregnancy and chiropractic. Right?
I would agree.
Yeah? Mm-hmm. You have any input on your thought process of preconception right off the bat?
Well, I don't think it matters. Like, this isn't a segment just for maybe first-time moms. Mm-hmm. This is every time you're pregnant. And so sometimes when a mom is in their second pregnancy, they're like, this is completely different from the first. It's every pregnancy is completely different than the last.
Exactly. And every time it's different. So first question is that we get posed a lot is, what should I do to prepare my body for pregnancy?
Well, you should have been preparing at least 6 months to a year and a half before you wanted to actually become pregnant. Like, we could go down the whole epigenetics cascade.
Okay.
But this isn't just a mom thing. This is also a dad aspect as well. And so we can go in, we can talk about ovaries, we can talk about sperm. But if a family is potentially what is on the horizon, we need to start planning almost a year in advance, and that goes into what our emotional state is, the nutrition that we're putting into our body, what our stress level is. All of those hormones and all of those factors have a play on both mom and dad's side of when those two things are going to come together to actually make that baby.
I agree with you 100% on that. What age do you think then women should actually start preparing for pregnancy? I have an age in mind. Let's see if you match up with it. I'll send my ESP over to you right now.
I think, with the workforce ages, things are, I think that spread has definitely gotten bigger. Mm-hmm. As we talk millennials and those wanting to wait to have, children later on in life. But I think already at like 23, 24, if that is something that you're going to want to prepare to have children maybe when you're 25 or 26, I think already 23, 24 is when you really need to start actually reevaluating, even prepping for, okay, this is what I want to do. It's like people go into a marathon. If they're going to, run a marathon, people are planning, a year to 18 months in advance to do a run. And when we come to growing a child, we just, hop into it, or it just happens unexpectedly.
Yeah. So I'm going to actually counter you on that and come back a little bit earlier. I think women, regardless of marital status, I think they should start preparing for pregnancy 19 to 20.
That's kind of scary.
Yeah, I know, but it's getting their body prepped. And it's not so much knowing that they're going to get pregnant, but having the body prepped, having the proper nutrition in place, and take 2 to 3 years to prep their bodies for when they get pregnant. Because, like it or not, when you do become pregnant, baby's going to take everything they can from you to survive. And then you, mom, become malnourished. Baby technically doesn't get that malnourished if you're not properly nutritioned.
They're selfish already.
They're selfish already. They're selfish. They're going to take everything from you, from calcium to vitamin D to magnesium to zinc to anything they need to do to create their own body. They're going to do it, and they're going to take it from you, leach it from your bones, take your protein, and you need to prep your body very, very well. And I think in the early 20s to late teens, I think that conversation needs to happen, where we need to talk about the potential of becoming pregnant, but more importantly, how do we prep our bodies? And I've met some incredibly smart moms over the years, some that have been prepping their body for a few years before they become pregnant. So let's jump into the nutritional cascade, because that's the next question often parents and moms ask is, are there any specific dietary changes that would be recommended or supplements that they should take to prep their bodies for pregnancy in preconception? What do you think?
We always have our supplement recommendations.
Right.
But I think as for nutrition, let's just start on the easy side of let's take out the sugars, let's take out the dairy.
So inflammation.
So that we are lower inflammation, that cortisol level goes down because that's what affects baby, that stress hormone. But we need to start filling it with fruits, veggies, protein, and some really, really good fats.
So let's go down that cascade of why. So why eliminate dairy? Why take dairy out? Because we've been brainwashed that we need dairy. We've been brainwashed that dairy is a really good protein for your body, calcium, vitamin D source, and it's not.
It would be if it came directly from the cow and you're drinking it whole milk from the cow.
And
that
raw.
Is unfortunately not how our milk is produced these days.
No, it's destroyed. It's turned into basically white paint thinner or primer. I mean, it's not there to design to keep you healthy. It actually malnourishes you and makes you sicker. And I think during pregnancy, it's a big one because it causes massive inflammation. But even more importantly is it starts messing with your hormones. And I think that is something huge that moms need to know, and potential moms, is that when you're consuming dairy and you're consuming a lot of it from store-bought, and not necessarily in cheese sources, but in milk form, raw, like just straight milk, yogurts, ice cream, it messes with your hormones because the hormones that the cow is given to produce milk, to stay producing milk, those come over into the milk supply when the cow is milked, and it comes into our moms, which throws off progesterone, which throws off estrogen, which changes luteal phases. And that's getting a little sciencey, but that's the damn truth.
Well, we talk about why is my period all messed up?
Yes.
Or why am I not ovulating when I thought I was? And that's where all this can go back to the nutrition that we're putting in.
So let's go down another cascade then too, is let's talk about protein, vegetables, fruits. What are some really good forms of fats? You mentioned fats. Fats is a huge one because a lot of people avoid fat, and they shouldn't.
We need fat. We need good oils, butters, avocado.
Yep. Well, your vitamin sources are there, right? So your vitamin A, your vitamin D, vitamin E, and vitamin K. Those are all fat soluble.
Which you need to get from your diet.
Yep, because you cannot create those at all. They come to you from fats. Really good olive oil, really good avocado oil. Having those really substantial in your diet, really good in avocados, right?
Yep.
So you're good saturated and unsaturated fats, but also nuts. I think a lot of the times nuts get pushed off or they get consumed too much.
Too much, right?
Yes.
There is always that happy medium.
Yeah, because nuts are extremely caloric dense. They're extremely vitamin dense foods, but they're also very, very easy to overeat because they're so small.
Yeah, when we're not talking like the salted ballpark peanuts, we're talking like the almonds,
cashews, walnuts. Those things are huge. Macadamia nuts, Brazil nuts. Those nuts are huge in giving us vitamin E, which is incredibly important for conception.
We can talk about skin. We can talk about hair.
Well, I think if we were to knock off some of the specific vitamin recommendations, we don't need to get into actually how much moms would want to take. But if you want those questions answered, comment below in the comments, and we'll answer those for you privately. If you want to email us, drskip or drjulie at primefamilycenters.com, we can answer those for you as well, or we can jump on a phone call. But I think fish oil is huge. Right? Fish oil is massive. It's DHA and EPA. Those are needed for brain function, heart function, cardiovascular function, but actually putting together a baby, right?
I think one of the big things that we get when we start talking about supplements with our patients, it's, well, somebody said that I just need to have some calcium, or I need to
Right,
have vitamin
right,
D, or I
right.
need just the EPA. That is not how our bodies are designed and programmed to be able to take that take those nutrients and then break it into our body. We actually need a little bit of everything, and we need to have the one thing to be able to process the other. And so that is traditionally, like, we're not talking the GNC,
No,
like the stuff
the
that we're getting
GNC
at
supplements,
at the
those are a joke.
Walmarts. Unfortunately, like we talk about price point, you pay for what you get. And lots of times when we don't understand how to read a label, or we don't understand like what a supplement is, we hear, oh, I just need vitamin D, and we strictly just look for vitamin D in a
Yeah,
supplement. But we need all the other parameters. We need the other things that
you
are
need
going
the
to bind to
synergist.
that is going to allow your body to actually absorb and to use that vitamin D that you're taking.
And getting vitamin D in a whole food form, like from
Yes.
sunlight.
And when to take it.
Yeah, and when to take it. And there's a lot of misinformation out there about sunlight exposure, vitamin D exposure, causing skin cancer. But what we need to realize and understand is it's the stuff we put on our skin that the sun reacts with that then causes melanoma, that then causes skin issues. Where direct exposure to sunlight for 20, 30 minutes a day really does help your
Super
vitamin
important.
D, and it's super important. It needs to come in as vitamin D3. It needs to come in its whole food form so it can go to the liver, be metabolized, and broke down into an actual workable form that your body needs in vitamin D. Another really important one during pregnancy. Again, fat-based vitamin, just like fish oil. You can't create the DHA that's in fish oil. You need to take it in. Think of it this way, ladies and gents. Half of your brain is made of fat. Half of that fat is DHA. And that is actually what allows you to transmit proper brain communication. It's 100% needed. It's essential. Most Americans are extremely deficient in DHA because they don't consume enough fats from fish and from beef that is actually grass-fed, raised in a pasture versus in a feedlot fed corn. Same thing with fish and salmon.
I mean, you can't get that from a Friday night fish fry?
No, not usually. No,
Not enough fish.
You don't need farm raised. If you see anything, if we're talking fish, let's just quickly touch on that. If you see it that says farm raised fish, it's no different than getting beef off of a feedlot. It's fed corn. It's fed basically feed that is corn based, which doesn't allow it to actually create all of the omega chain fatty acids we need. More than omega-3, we need 6, we need 8, we need 9, we need 10. We need it all. It needs to be in a very specific form, which fish has in it. Now, the other side of it is calcium. Calcium is extremely important for moms to take in, but also magnesium. They couple together. These things are all things you need to look at pre-conception, and you're not going to get just from one prenatal vitamin. It doesn't work that way either.
I think it's where it gets overwhelming, because you can have a super, super healthy diet. You can eat gluten-free, non-dairy, non-GMO, everything organic, but our nutrition sources are very depleted, even if you're, growing that in your own gardens, that we need to be able to supplement. We need to know what to supplement with. So just in general nutrition, day to day, we need to have that. But then if you think that you're growing something else, you need to double up that supplement. You need to double up on your nutrition, and that is where you need to have those supplements along with really good daily nutrition.
Yeah, and it needs to absorb at the right rates, which means you need to have proper stomach acid as well to start breaking these down. Remember, digestion actually starts in your mouth before it gets to your stomach. So your mouth actually starts breaking down all of these foods that you eat, including whole foods, at the start of when you put it in and chew it. And that's the initial breakdown phase that you need to keep in mind. So we talk nutrition, which is great. Next question we always get asked is, hey, Dr. Julie, Dr. Skip, how do I optimize my chance of getting pregnant or becoming pregnant? I think one of the biggest ones is stress.
Absolutely.
And stress reduction. So what is a good form for our moms that you talk about a lot to reduce stress in their life?
Well, work, like we can talk about balance, but I think of really having those non-negotiables and go into, like, if you want to plan for having a baby in a year, like that needs to be almost, it shouldn't be a to-do, but it needs to have a plan around it of really controlling the, what your emotional centers are feeling. If you're planning like a big move or you're planning a wedding, like those can be really high stress, super high stress events that maybe we need to plan out maybe baby a little bit further down the road for that. I always say like a baby is never going to be born into a war zone.
No,
right?
they don't get born in high
So
stress
our bodies
environments.
can't facilitate being able to, with the cortisol and the stress, a baby's not going to be being able to be born into that.
Or conceived.
So a baby is also not
Right.
going to be conceived in those types of measures. And
Yes.
so I know like lots of the struggles when we're talking about infertility, it's like we start laying out all the stressors that's maybe happened in the past or what somebody's currently going through. That's what we really need to navigate through.
Yeah. I think
And
reducing the
breathing.
stress, breathing. So yeah, you're going to go into breathing now. So what are talk about breathing, please, because I don't breathe enough.
No, we need to breathe. And I think for some people, if that's just being outside, walking in nature, but really we need to start prepping our bodies as well. And that's where I go through my breathing exercises. And quite honestly, sometimes we just need to have that like to-do list of like, hey, an hour a day, I'm going to do this. 15 minutes, I'm going to focus on, doing my breath work.
So you talk breath work, you say breathing exercises. This just isn't sitting, crossing your legs and meditating, which is great and needed to help manage stress and get one with God and really communicate. But breathing exercises,
We're
this
talking
is a
about
whole
physiological changes.
game.
We're getting diaphragm and pelvic floor to work together. So this is really good for preconception.
Okay.
Because then we're actually pressurizing the system. Maybe we've always had a weak core. Maybe we've always had low back pain. This isn't just for the ladies. This is also for gentlemen.
What do you mean? My pelvis is fine. Everything seems to work just fine.
Everything seems to work just fine until you bend over one day and you throw your back out, right? And so this is where it's also for the gentleman as well. But that's also why I like the postpartum population, because we can see it as our bodies are amazing, that as we grow a baby, our abdomen, our muscles have to separate to allow for that growth. But nobody teaches us as a woman postpartum of how to actually put those things back together. And so I look at it as almost like a little zipper that opens up. We need to be able to zip that core back together. And that's what the breathing exercises do. So I teach you how to key in both the diaphragm, pelvic floor to get those to work together, which then pressurizes the entire system.
Yes.
So when we get those things to work together, why it's really great for preconception is, imagine, ladies, that you are having those contractions and one's kind of pushing on one side and maybe the other side, and it's kind of like a teeter-totter effect, versus if we could have that whole system working together to literally expel and contract to push that baby out, much easier.
And I'm telling you right now, guys out there, you know how many men I've taken care of that throw their back out picking up pencils and papers when really they threw their back out trying to conceive a baby? We don't want that to happen either. Sorry, but that's the truth.
Yep. And so and that's with gentlemen, like if it's the low back pain, and it kind of goes back to, well, what are these steps? Well, it's the same thing.
I've never had a baby.
If you look at a newborn baby, we can super quick. Can I go off on this?
Yeah, absolutely.
If we look at a brand new baby, right? Baby is connected with mom umbilical cord. So baby has that little hole in their belly button.
Yeah.
Well, how does baby know how to close up that hole? So we go through the neurological movements that a child goes through. And so that is kicking their legs, moving their arms, learning to roll over, learning to sit up, and then finally crawling. Those are those things that all secure up the core, but also close up that belly button. So when we're in our class, right, that is what we are doing. So from the gentleman's side is, well, I didn't have a baby. Why do I have this core weakness? Well, I'm going to ask you, do you remember if you crawled when you were a baby? You're going to have to go back and ask your mom or your dad. But those are all developmental things, and we can talk about the brain work that happens as we go through this. But that is why this class is for both gentlemen and ladies, is because quite honestly, we're missing core support, which is also brain development.
And I guess I'm just going to say it. You can find all those classes at your website, which is?
drjuliewyss.com.
Exactly. Dr. Julie Wyss, WYSS.com. That's the best place to find that when you're talking your breath work, your Mama Phoenix programs, and kind of segued into that. That wasn't the intention, but it was great. And that's exactly it. So we need that really good core stability, really good pelvic stability so you can help yourself through your pregnancy. And then if we come back to this again, What drives and controls all of that? What drives and controls those muscles in the pelvis? What drives and controls the muscles of the abdomen? It comes back to what? The nervous system. 150% over and over and over again. It's the nervous system. The brain is the supercomputer. It controls everything. Muscles are just steak. They don't do a dang thing without any form of energy going to them.
They need the directions.
Yep. You put steak in a pan, it does nothing. You put meat in a pan, it does nothing. I add a little heat, I add a little energy, what does it do? Turns into steak and becomes stinking delicious. It's the same thing though in the body. We have to add energy. What provides the energy? The brain. The brain provides the impulses for the muscles contract. In fact, your muscles start to contract before you even think about it. So the other side of it is that your brain's communication to your pelvis, to your abdomen is 100% essential to you having a proper pregnancy. It is essential. I've had people get after me for saying essential, but it is needed 100%. Yes, you can have a child without chiropractic care. Hundreds of thousands of women, millions of women do it a year.
Easier and quicker.
Yes, it's faster, quicker. Post-recovery is faster.
More comfortable.
The stocia rate drops. Everything changes because your big, beautiful brain is in full communication to your uterus, to your pelvis, to communication with that baby. And if we have all of that right and working in the most synergist, perfect, harmonious environment, your pregnancy is going to go amazingly well. And even conception is going to go amazingly well. Because we have everything communicating how it's supposed to.
Everything's conspiring for that one thing.
Exactly. Your bodies, ladies and gentlemen, our bodies are designed to procreate and create life. That's what we do. So why not have the source fully connected to the body? And that's a magical, amazing thing. And we have the pleasure of working in that environment every day of the week, working with our amazing moms, working with pregnancy. And yes, I get a little passionate about pregnancy. I get a little pissing it about pregnancy because I want my moms to have the best pregnancy possible. And I know we do that. So I have a challenge for you moms out there and dads. Post questions so we can answer them. Come on over to YouTube. That's where a lot of us are now in the podcast space. Comment there, ask questions. We will happily answer them here for you live on these forums to make sure we can help you get the best preconception, post-conception, and conception work. So when we're creating that life, making that life, building those building blocks, and then having them babies, everything goes awesome, yeah?
Absolutely.
Do you have anything else you would like to contribute, Dr. Julie?
No, I'm good.
Is that it for today? That's it for today. So get out there, get it done. Take care, everybody. Bye.